Hello, welcome back to the VMP Performance channel. My name is Jeremy, and today we're going to be installing the VMP 8-rib upgrade kit for your 18 and up F-150 and Mustang. So let's get over to the bench and take a look at these parts. Included in your kit is an 8-rib 10% overdrive harmonic balancer, a low profile accessory tensioner, a heavy duty belt tensioner for your supercharger, an 8-rib AC clutch assembly, a modified water pump pulley, an 8-rib idler, and 2 new idlers for your boomerang bracket. So the obvious place to start is removing your belts. We do not have an accessory belt on here. We're going to imagine that it's there. So we'll remove the accessory belt, and now we're going to take the supercharger belt off. Since you're getting a low profile tensioner here, you can go ahead and remove the accessory tensioner. Also the water pump pulley. Next, we're going to remove Odin's wheel of power. We're going to remove these. Next, we'll remove your ribbed idler. Remove your tensioner. And the trick for removing your AC clutch is this bolt has Loctite on it. So if it's the first time the bolt comes off, I highly recommend putting some heat to it from like a heat gun. Just hold a heat gun on it for 10 seconds and this will back right out. If not, you may or may not break it. Remember that when you remove this, there is selectable shims on the inside. Just take note to get them and reuse them. Go ahead and remove your snap ring for your pulley. The pulley will just slide off. There is another snap ring down here for your magnet. If you want to remove that, pull your connector off the side and just lift that off. And lastly, we're going to take your harmonic balancer off. In case you wanted to know, my setup right here does fit in between the radiator and the harmonic balancer. So this will still be done in the engine bay, just like this. Now we're going to install the new harmonic balancer hub. You can see the keyways here. You're always wanting to put a little RTV inside the keyway. That's where these engines like to leak. So just a little bit down inside the keyway on both sides. See that? Take your installation tool. And get those threads as far as you can into the crank. You can feel the harmonic balancer hub come to a stop when it's fully seated. Now that we've fully seated the hub, we're going to go ahead and take a measurement to show you what you're looking for. And it is about 0.4165. So you're going to want that measurement or a little bit tighter. So we're going to install the crank bolt. There's many different style crank bolts you can buy out there. Refer to the torque sequence of the manufacturer of your crank bolt. Now that your crank bolt's tight, we can go ahead and assemble your ATI. You'll notice there is a offset, a little mark on the offset side right here, and a corresponding one on the hub. So these only go on one way. Also, your instructions for your torque is on the ATI itself. And these will be torqued to 16 foot-pounds. Also on your instructions, it tells you what size Torx it is. It's a T40. And it's going to go to 16 foot-pounds. Go ahead and recheck your torque. Now you're ready for the outer ring. Your outer ring also has your torque spec on it. It's a 3/8 12 point, and it's 28 foot-pounds. Recheck your torque. Now that the harmonic balancer is completely installed, there's another measurement you can take to make sure that you're fully seated, and that's to touch the block and the inner ring, and you should be about 1.687. Another quick way to check after you install your pulleys is to go ahead and put a straight edge against your pulleys and to make sure that that inner lip falls inside of the pulleys. Now we're going to put on our AC clutch. We're going to start with your magnet. Your magnet actually has an alignment pin on the back side. Your alignment pin will go into this channel, and you'll see the wiring comes out in this block, and that's cut away right here. So make sure it sits in there. You'll feel it sit flush. Your clip actually has a bevel on the inside. That bevel will go forward and it'll help it channel it down into this groove. Hear it click in. Go ahead and make sure it's solid. And then you're going to route your wiring behind this metal bracket. And there's clip. Keep everything clipped out of the way. It's real close to the belt drive. Next, you'll put on your 8-rib pulley. You'll have its C-clip. Go ahead and make sure it's solid. So now we're going to go ahead and install the clutch face on your AC compressor. The factory spec is 8 thousandths to 22 thousandths. Here we have a shim and it's at 19 thousandths, which is in spec. You're going to need to verify your air gap to maintain your warranty on these parts. Go ahead and you're going to use the new bolt with Loctite. Go ahead and tighten that down. Should be able to freewheel without your clutch grabbing. So now we're going to install our 8-rib idler. It takes a little standoff sleeve. See that? And your idler with the bolt. With your new larger idler pulleys, you will have contact right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove the boomerang and cut this piece down. Also, if you have another standoff right here, now is the time to go ahead and cut that away. So to get your 3.5 mil, you can either measure it out or it's roughly the size of about 2/4. So you can use that to gauge how far to cut. Go ahead and take a marker. You're going to make you a mark all the way around. So before you cut, go ahead and cover up your engine and vehicle. This gets a little messy. Now that we've trimmed the stand off, we're going to go ahead and reinstall. Always tighten from the bottom up. Always take your orange idler clip out on the bottom. And always give them a spin, make sure they're not locked up. Go ahead and install your tensioner, but don't tighten it all the way down. We're going to slip a belt behind it. For the correct size pulley, go ahead and contact sales and your tuner. But for this video, we're going to go ahead and add the kill pulley. We want all the sauce. So your belt size will vary with the pulley combinations that you have on it. So let's go ahead and install this. I like to take them, flip them inside out, roll up underneath the tensioner, and go ahead and lock your tensioner down now. Wrap it up from the bottom. Come up underneath your water pump and underneath the lower idler. Just get it past that last pulley. So now run your hand across the routing. You can see right here, make sure it's on all the pulleys correctly. And with that being said, your tensioner movement should be about that much. So your belt routing will be through the tensioner here, underneath your crank, on the inside of this idler, over your supercharger, on the inside of this idler, to the outside of the ribbed idler around the AC pulley. Now we're going to install your ultra low profile tensioner. You're going to start by taking your relocation plate and getting your 6mm Allen bolt and going ahead and putting some blue Loctite on it. Next, you want to pin it in place, and what I like to use is a 17/64 drill bit, and just go ahead and pin it to the block and tighten this down. Careful pulling your drill bit out. Next, you'll take your low profile tensioner, and this is a 6M Allen bolt as well. And go ahead and tighten this down. Now we're going to install your modified water pump pulley. It has the back lip removed. Go ahead and put your 3 10mm bolts back. Tighten them down. Now that we've installed the Odin 8-rib upgrade kit, we're going to go ahead and move on to one that's going to give you a little more belt wrap, and it features the Atlas bracket. So let's go ahead and get this mounted up to the engine. We've gone ahead and mocked up the Atlas bracket. You'll need to clearance this standoff by about 3.5 mil, and some timing covers have a standoff right here, which you'll need to go ahead and remove so the Atlas bracket will have full range of motion and not contact the belt. Now that we've clearanced the standoff, we can go ahead and install the Atlas bracket. You're going to tighten your 6M Allen head bolts, starting from the bottom and working your way up. Go ahead and take the slotted nut into the back. Next you'll have your standoff. And then your pulley will face clip out. Go ahead and secure this, but don't tighten it. Next you'll take your lower pulley. Go ahead and install and tighten this one. It is a 6M head as well. Next we're going to reinstall our 8-ribbed idler. That is a 13mm bolt. Now we're going to reinstall your heavy-duty tensioner. Usually you would have your belt on with it. This is also a 13mm bolt. And lastly, you're going to install your modified water pump pulley. Put your 10mm bolts back. And now's the time you're going to go ahead and check to make sure that you have no clearance issues with any of your pulleys and that everything spins free. Once again, the supercharger pulley and the belt is not included in this kit. That will depend on your personal horsepower goals and setup. You'll need to talk to sales and support. And this would determine your belt wrap on placement depending on your belt and supercharger pulley. And we have one last configuration with an AC bypass bracket. If you're a Coyote swap or a full-blown dragster where you're not using your AC, we have your solution for that. So let's go ahead and mock that up now. We have detailed video instructions on how to put the AC bypass together. Check the link in the description below. Put the longer standoffs on the outside. Thread them in. Shorter ones go to the inside. You're going to start with position A. Move to position B. Standoff C. last but not least, D. We're going to do a quick tabletop assembly. There are more detailed instructions linked below. And that concludes the installation of the Odin 8-rib upgrade kit. If this is something you need for your whip, please contact sales and support. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.